This is a hybrid meeting. The city council's member of the public can view this meeting live on Channel 8, the city's website, and YouTube. Live Spanish translation services are being provided for tonight's council meeting by telephone. Please dial 720-386-9023 and use code 104091 asterisk.
Se ofrecen servicios de interpretación en español para esta reunión del Consejo Municipal por teléfono. Marque el número 720-386-9023 y utilice el código 104091 estrella.
Thank you. All votes on tonight's agenda will be conducted as roll call vote. I will now call the meeting to order and ask the clerk to call a roll.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Douglas.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Noble.
Present.
Councilmember Guardiola.
Present.
Councilmember Teeter.
Present.
Councilmember Sandoval. Councilmember Kim. Councilmember Dukes. Here. Councilmember Trujillo.
Here.
Councilmember Young.
Present.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. I need a motion second to excuse members not present.
So move.
Councilmember Dukes.
Second.
Councilmember Teeter. All right.
Oops.
Okay, motion on the floor, excuse members not present. We'll ask the clerk to take a roll call vote.
Thank you, Mayor. The vote is open.
Thank you. Okay, 7 with 2 excused absences. All right. Please join me for a moment in silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we get going here, in a motion to adopt agenda, an inconsistency was discovered in the notice of public hearing regarding Resolution 2026-012, a resolution approving the development plan amendment for Crown Enterprise, Inc., property located at 10251 Newark Street. I need a motion to amend the agenda to remove this item number 9 from the agenda, and have staff to reschedule the hearing accordingly. Councilmember Teeter.
I so move.
Councilmember Young.
I second.
Okay, need a discussion? Okay, we'll ask the clerk to take a roll call vote.
Thank you, Mayor. The vote is open. And Mayor Pro Tem. Just need Mayor Pro Tem's vote, please. No, you're good. And Councilmember Teeter, if you can,
Again? Oh,
we'll get this.
Okay, it passes 7-2. All right. Do any council members wish to otherwise amend the agenda? Okay, I need a motion second to adopt the agenda as amended. I don't know why it's on there twice. Motion on the floor to adopt the agenda. Councilmember Dukes.
Second.
Councilmember Teeter.
you seconded it. I'll make approval to amend or to adopt the agenda.
All right. Okay, got a motion and a second. Councilmember Noble, Mayor Pro Tem Noble, you too.
Thank you. So we're having an executive session prior to the presentation by the Veterans Commission? Am I reading this correctly?
Yes.
I was wondering, I would like to amend whatever's been approved to move notice council business and presentations before the executive sessions.
What about the Veterans Commission presentation?
Pardon me?
Did you want to move the Veterans Commission?
Notice council business and presentations before the executive session.
Okay. All right.
That's my amendment.
That's okay with my motion.
Okay.
Councilmember Dukes? Okay. We'll go ahead and take a vote on that. So the amendment is to have a notice of council, have notice of council business in the presentation before executive session.
Okay, the motion to approve the agenda as amended is now open.
Thank you.
We got it.
Okay, that's unanimous with 2 excused absences. Okay, notice, let's see. Public comments. All public comments except for those regarding public hearings will occur now. If you intend to comment on a public hearing on tonight's agenda, please refrain from doing so until the public comment portion of that hearing. And just for the audience to know that there was a public hearing that was inconsistency with how things were brought forward. I think signage, I believe, or notice. So that one got pulled from the agenda, so we will not have a hearing tonight. Public comment should be limited to 3 minutes per person. The public shall direct all comments to the full city council, not to an individual council member. Will the clerk call on anyone virtual in-person speaker?
Thank you, Mayor. We have 2 people signed up virtually, and we'll start with them. And the first is Trevor Steen, and I will allow Trevor to speak. Well, I'm not seeing, is he the first one there? That must be him. Trevor, can you hear us?
Yes, I
There
can.
you are.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you will have 3 minutes.
Okay, outstanding. Thank you. My name is Trevor Steen. I am a Commerce City resident at 11093 Pitkin Street. And I just wanted to come and say I appreciate the City Council taking the data center issue seriously. I saw on the agenda both a resolution to form, I guess, like a planning committee, and then also a moratorium until we know more about the impacts to our community, the impacts to our economy, the impacts to our environment. So I do appreciate that our City Council is taking that seriously. As you all are probably very much aware, we already have one giant corporation in the city who has caused, untold amounts of ecological damage. I'm not sure that we want to step knee deep into the next ecological disaster with data centers without knowing more, without knowing what else is going to happen. Also, and not that the city has control over this, but data centers, as they pop up in communities, put an undue burden of cost on the community, despite the fact that they are corporate resources. We've seen communities forced to pay across the community for increased energy infrastructure for data centers instead of the companies paying for that. Same thing with water. And they always come with the promise of economic growth and all the jobs they create. I don't know if any of you all have ever been inside a data center, but it's pretty barren when it comes to humans. They're usually kind of set it and forget it with some care and feeding that happens on occasion, but it is not a center of employment outside of the initial construction. So all that to say, I appreciate the city taking the issue seriously, doing what needs to be done to do due diligence and research. And I hope that our city takes our citizens' concerns seriously and does what's best for the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, next for virtual public comment is Georgianne Becker.
Hello?
Hello.
Hear you.
Okay. I'm Georgianne Becker. I live at 16111 Fairway Drive in Commerce City. I'm here to address reunion filings 39 and 40 and the fact that the city seems to be proceeding with final plat approval with only administrative staff, your development review team, and without a true public hearing for either filing. I appeared at the council's meeting on July 6 and with others asked in public comments that there be public hearings for these two filings. I made a similar request in my written comments submitted by the July 13, 2026 deadline. I do not live within the magic old 300 feet of either proposed development. I might make the new 500 feet as I live close to the intersection of Chambers and Heartland. Now it appears that Reunion Filing 39, 84 dwelling units, will have a public hearing, but Reunion Filing 40, 203 dwelling units, and abutting 112th Avenue will not, based exclusively on that old 300 feet technicality. If you allow that to happen, City Council will be participating in a sham public hearing for Filing 39. A sham because you will be signaling that you'll just go through the little dance of a public hearing, let the minions, meaning the people who live in the area and your constituents, have their say for their 3 minutes each, and then put Reunion 39's approval through right along with Reunion Filing 40's administrative approval without true consideration of many issues. There are so many aspects of these two filings that need to be addressed by City Council. I set forth a lot of them in my July 13 written comments, including a traffic impact study for the two filings that projects an additional almost 2,800 weekday trips, meaning per day, all of which have to go out onto Chambers because the city isn't requiring the completion of 112th to the east to link up to Potomac. Please hit the pause button on these two filings. Make an independent and comprehensive rather than a piecemeal analysis of Chambers and all of the existing proposed developments impacting Chambers from 96th North to 120th, and all of the proposed developments impacting 112th from Potomac on the west east to Tower Road. Stop using only developer-provided information without a true evaluation by, for, and on behalf of the current and future actual residents of Commerce City. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, that completes our virtual speakers, and we'll move on to our in-person, starting with Nate Harris.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Council. Good evening, Council. First, I'd like to echo everything Trevor said about the data centers and their dangers, but I do appreciate that you're considering a moratorium on it. That's the right move to make. Sorry for being absent last meeting. I was visiting a friend out of town, and I'm sure my license plate popped up on a hot list somewhere. First, I'll thank, Stephanie, Jose, Rocky, and Joanne as absent again, but thank you for interviewing me for the vacant seat on the EPIC committee. I'm bummed that I didn't make the cut, but hopefully you'll find a more compatible member of the community that meets your rigorous qualification standards. I come with some concerns about Flock, obviously. Right now, currently the system in Commerce City is set up to use the NCIC hot list, which is a collection of lists that are published by the FBI. One of those lists that is included in that is called Immigration Violator. That's a list that's exclusively maintained by ICE for immigration enforcement. The transparency portal for Commerce City's Flock system doesn't show whether this particular list is enabled. Immigration enforcement is listed as an explicit prohibited use, but given that the blatant abuses by ICE under the current federal administration, it's vital that the local system administrators confirm that this list is disabled in Commerce City to protect our minority populations. It's also worth noting that Flock and other surveillance devices like ShotSpotters are finally being installed in the northeast portion of the city, mostly white cameras in the corners of intersections. City manager mentioned last week the city's halfway through installing its 364 sites, which is significantly higher than the 111 total Flock devices that were going to be in the original April contract. So I'd like to see some insight to why there's a discrepancy between those numbers and when the contracts for non-Flock systems like the ShotSpotters were agreed to. And finally, given the misconfiguration of the hot list, recent news about Flock scream detection in Commerce City, and some misconceptions about surveillance technology I've heard from a number of city officials, I believe there's a general misunderstanding about how these systems work and what they do. There's some important details that were missing from Flock's presentation here a month ago, and I know half of you guys weren't up on city council when Flock first came in 2025. There's not enough time for me to get into it in public comment, so I'd like to offer a time to come in and give a comprehensive, accurate, nonpartisan presentation about not only what the surveillance technologies can and do, but also how they are ineffective at reducing crime, and instead what would be far more beneficial to addressing crime here in Commerce City. So hopefully we can coordinate a time during one of the council sessions and we can have an open and honest conversation about these surveillance systems. So I can pass along my contact information to whoever might be in charge of wanting to schedule that. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Mayor, our next speaker is Jackie Valdez.
Good evening, Council, City Management. Couple things that I wanted to address tonight is, I talked to Jenna about the area, about the flooding. And so she's supposed to get with me to kind of discuss some of the things that's going on in the area and what direction the city has chosen to go through. What I can tell you is the flooding is continuous. We've had quite a bit of rain recently. And this last storm that we had that brought a lot of flooding, I go to my front door and see my neighbor wading through the water, literally wading through the water up to her knees. Enough is enough. I don't know what else to do, but we've got to get something done. We have to. We're not organized, we're not prioritized, we are not nothing when it comes to either the north or the south. But what I can tell you is y'all need to, up there, get on board and start figuring some things out because you're going to be responsible for everything that goes on. You're the council, they're the city management. You guys have to be responsible and you're not. You're not listening to the people of Commerce City. You're not listening to what we want, what we need. You're listening to the developers. Oh yeah, we're hearing a lot about that. And that is ridiculous too, just like these centers for AI. I didn't know anything about it until I got a phone call from my cousin telling me, well, you know, you ought to see how much water and electricity that they take from you to run these centers. Well, I don't know about you all, but I don't use any water. I don't use an ounce of water that I absolutely do not 100% need to use in my home. But yet, these centers are going to be here and they're going to be developing and they're going to be using all this water. So you guys really need to think about these centers coming into Commerce City because we are definitely not for them and we're no more for all of these buildings and homes that are coming up and all of these, have to say it the way I see it, fat cats. All that money going in their pockets and all of the developers, you know, yeah. I mean, they're there getting their money, and who's suffering? The people of Commerce City. And you guys are supposed to be backing us, you're supposed to be protecting us, you're supposed to be helping us, and we ain't getting nothing from nobody. Nothing. I mean, I just had a business move into where the old ice cream place was, so they're now all hours of the night bringing vehicles in. Tow trucks, people honking for them to open up the gates. And I'm like, but they said, oh wait, the city approved it. Get off your duffs and do something that you're supposed to be doing, being on this council and city management.
Thank you.
Mayor, our last speaker tonight is Christy Douglas.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and City Management. My name is Christy Douglas, and I live in Ward 4. And I'm going to keep it short tonight, real short. I'm here to express my sincere disappointment in what's going on in this city. I cannot believe that the city decided to administratively approve filing 40 with 203 lots with no plans for what's going to happen on 112th, which was supposed to be done back in 2019, something like that. I don't get this. I don't get what's going on here. I'd like to echo the comments of Georgia Ann Becker as a virtual speaker, as well as those of Nate Harris and Jackie Valdez. You're not hearing from a lot of people because there's not a lot of community awareness. Things are done so fast that people can't even keep up with what's going on. Did you know that by adding up everything that's supposed to happen on Chambers, south of 104th and south of 112th, to include the already approved 287 apartments, it's going to be a total of 999 small unit dwellings. That's unbelievable. And we have not done the work, the homework, to understand how this is going to negatively impact us. What are you all doing? I've got 1 minute left, but I have nothing more to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And Mayor, that concludes public comment for tonight.
Okay, thank you. All right, members of the public were able to submit written comments online, by mail. Written comments were received by the deadline, and they were incorporated in tonight's agenda. If a follow-up is necessary, a staff member will contact you. All right, we're gonna go to notice of council business. 26-047, motion to schedule a data center topic for a study session. I will invite Mayor Pro Tem Noble to introduce this item.
Thank you very much, Mayor. The reason two motions are being brought forward on data centers this evening is that the city's land development code allows data centers, but it includes a conditional use permit provision. The problem is that when you are considering conditions, you have to know at least what it is that you're asking for and what is feasible, if there is even going to be any conditions, if you're even going to approve it. It seemed like we were skipping a step with not having had a discussion about data centers, the advantages, disadvantages, the impacts, and so forth. Therefore, Mayor Douglas and I brought forward this motion directing the city manager to schedule a study session in the third quarter or no later than the fourth quarter of this year for city council to discuss best options to regulate data centers, including but not limited to potential revisions in the city's land development code to allow the city time to construct thoughtful regulations for future data center development.
That's your motion?
That's my motion.
Okay, I'll second that. Okay, any discussion? Councilmember Dukes?
First, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, for bringing this forward. I think this is a great step to understand what conditions we would want to add if we had conditions to add, but it starts with education. I wanted to make a friendly amendment, and I look at our city attorney, because what Mayor Pro Tem provided is the idea of looking at the pros, the trade-offs, the advantages and disadvantages. That wasn't mentioned specifically in this motion, but I want to know if we want to add that as a friendly amendment to say the goal of this study session is to have a clear understanding and a comprehensive report of the current processes, potential opportunities, and impacts in the study session, if that provides more clarity.
Mayor Pro Tem Noble, do you?
I am perfectly fine accepting that. Do I have a second on this
I'll second that.
motion?
I'll
You
second.
seconded? Okay, I didn't hear that. I'm fine with that.
Okay, all right. Any other discussion?
Yes, as robust as it needs to be, because these are extremely impactful, especially the hyperscale ones. We've seen the reaction that communities across the country have had once one of these data centers is constructed. So there's a big difference between Iron Mountain down near the stockyards and a hyperscale that could be tens of thousands of square feet. So it's important for us to understand. And there is an application of sorts that is percolating in our system right now for a data center. So it's important that we do this as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. All right, no discussion. Yes, just saw that in there. Councilmember Young.
Well, I don't want to be presumptuous, but I'm asking the question, are we inviting our water district and our power company to come and also take part of the discussion and give us some insight and feedback and guidance as well from their perspective?
I would hope it's as robust as possible, and if it's
Okay.
important to have them included, absolutely, it's fine with me.
Okay, I just don't want to make the assumption that it's there without
Yeah,
stating it.
and I
Okay.
agree with you, Councilmember Young, that we should be as clear as possible this evening about what it is that we're aiming for here.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Councilmember Trujillo.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to thank Mayor Pro Tem and the mayor for bringing this forward. And it is important for us to get an understanding from the water department as well as the all utilities right involved. So I would definitely support having that conversation at the time. So thank you, everyone, for really being forward-thinking on this.
Thank you. Councilmember Dukes.
I'll just add, and I was going to add this to the council report out, but it's good timing now. I sat on the Water Commission. We had a commission meeting, and we talked about data centers. And during that meeting, it was clear that the Water Commission, or the Water District, is really agnostic on data centers. There's some conditions that data centers have to meet, but if they meet those conditions, then they're going to be able to serve. That's actually what prompted me to really want to support this moratorium so we have a deeper discussion, because if we don't know what conditions and guardrails we have, this could prompt more data centers than we probably want right now, but we wanted to make sure we're thoughtful around that. So,
Okay, thank you. All right. Go ahead and call for the vote.
Thank you, Mayor. The vote is now open. And Councilmember Teeter. Thank you.
Okay, 7 unanimous and 2 excused absence. Okay, on to notice of council business 26-048, ordinance request for a data center moratorium. We'll invite Mayor Pro Tem Noble to introduce this item.
Thank you very much. The Environmental Policy and Innovation Commission has begun looking at data centers as well. And as was noted by Councilmember Dukes, because we want to have this study session and it can't come until later in the year, it seemed important to have a moratorium until we have recommendations in place for the Land Development Code and hear from the community as well on this topic. So this is a motion directing the city manager to, oh, sorry, wrong one, already did that one. A motion directing the city manager and staff to prepare an ordinance authorizing a moratorium on the acceptance or processing of certain applications and site development plan applications where a data center is considered as a primary or conditional use. And I would like to add, until new rules for the Land Development Code are considered or adopted.
Okay, I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Dukes?
Thank you for, again, bringing this forward. I'd like to make a friendly amendment to this moratorium, just putting a time frame on there. So having it read, ordinance authorizing a 6-month moratorium. Having a 6-month time frame, there's always an option to extend if we don't have the necessarily data we need before, but I would love to put a time frame on there. The other reason to put a time frame on there is to say that we are actively seeking questions and there's an end date to this so that we can move forward as a group.
Mayor Pro Tem Noble?
All right, thank you. City Attorney Zarzaki, since an ordinance falls in your house,
Yes.
how soon do you think you could bring an ordinance forward?
I think we can drafting the ordinance will be straightforward, so we can get on first reading at the next regular meeting.
Okay, and then it would take effect,
readings.
if it's approved, it would take effect then in
It would be effective on second reading, which you're saying would be October.
October?
Yes.
Okay, so October, November, December is 3 months, and we're supposed to have the study session by then. And then another 3 months after that. I'm okay with that amendment.
Okay. I'm fine with it. Yes, I would concur with that. I like to make sure we are ahead of the state when they convene in January, that we have something in place before they get started. So I do appreciate the 6-month moratorium. Any other council members? Okay, Councilmember Young?
I'm just curious, this question is for City Attorney Zarzaki. Have we received any applications or do we have anything currently in place?
I'm not aware if a formal application has been submitted. That would typically go to the Community Development Department. Nevertheless, I think philosophically it does make a lot of sense to get ahead of the 8 ball, if you will. There are a number of communities that are doing exactly what you are all considering. And to that end, I strongly support the idea of imposing a moratorium to allow you all and staff the opportunity to identify, the best regulatory approach to dealing with data centers, and it affords you all an opportunity to have a study session.
Great, thank you.
Okay, any other council members? All right, you had additional to your motion. I didn't have that written down. Would you like to?
No, it is replaced with okay, so the motion is directing the city manager and staff to prepare an ordinance authorizing a moratorium on the acceptance or processing of certain applications and site development plan applications where a data center is considered as a primary or conditional use. Authorizing a moratorium. I know where it should go, for 6 months. A motion directing the city manager and staff to prepare an ordinance authorizing a moratorium of 6 months on the acceptance or processing of certain applications.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Ready for the vote? Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. The vote is open. And Mayor Douglas.
Oh, I thought I pushed it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that passes 7-2. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Okay, on to presentations. Presentation 26-626, Veterans Commission Annual Presentation. I'll invite Timothy Skoliak, Veterans Commission Chair, forward to give a presentation. I see Timothy's not here tonight, right? Okay. Good.
Good. Thank you. My name is Tim Skoliak. I'm the chairman of the Veterans Commission, and I will be giving a short presentation today. Our mission is to advise the City Council on matters related to the veteran community, foster a great understanding of the veteran community, increase our visibility, our community engagement, and inform the veteran community of available services, programs, and resources. We want to advocate for issues of importance to veterans and help plan city annual Memorial Day Parade and other events like Veterans Day. We have our regular members. I am the chair, Harvest is our vice chair, Edward, Virginia, Robert, Trey, Gustavo, Scott, and Travis. Alternate member Inez Allen, with Craig, Kim, and Rocky Teeter supporting us as council members. Oh, and then our liaison, Tim Kleeman. Sorry, I can't forget him. Very important. Our 4 goals that we are pursuing right now was recruitment, to build a full volunteer roster. When I first joined this commission, we did not make quorum each month. So when I first got here, that was our first goal. We are now full of members. We have just a few alternative positions open, so we are successful in that. Our second big one was partnerships, which fuels everything else we do, connecting with veteran organizations in the JROTC. Through our recruitment, we have brought members on board that are part of the VFW. We are now partnered with the American Legion. So we are growing our partnerships through our recruitment. Visibility, we're showing up consistently to all the events and ceremonies. Again, now that we are full, we're able to properly plan and be present at all of the city events. And stewardship, using the budget in a way that helps grow our awareness and help veterans in our community. So recruitment's now a strength. We did talk about this. When we first started, we were not hitting quorum. That was our whole last year goal. I do believe that we have been successful in meeting that goal, which has fueled everything else that we want to do. So now that we're full, our member engagement, we want our members to take charge and lead events and projects that help connect us with other organizations, other commissions. And again, being partnered with the VFW, the American Legion, we are being successful there, which is our next point, the member ownership. Community listening. Now that we are at all these events, partnering with these other boards, we are very visible to our community. We have seen multiple people come back to us at all our events and say, hey, I saw you at the last one, or my daughter gave me this coin or something. So we are seeing people starting to become aware of us, which is a big deal for us. And then just follow through, which is something that we have been successful on. So example of some of our partnerships, I've talked about the VFW, American Legion, the JROTC. These relationships connect the commission with established networks and a new generation of service. We have some pictures and examples of us at our events. We're at all the music in the parks. And then I don't remember the Toys for Tots, yes, thank you. So how we show up, Veterans Day, we hold an annual flag raising at the, what's it called? At the Eagle Point Rec Center for lunch and activity. We do the Memorial Day, I do a speech. We are judges there, and we show up as a team, and we talk to all the veterans there. We are at all the music in the parks. That's probably our largest event where we meet our most people. Juneteenth was our first chance to participate, which was really great. Our Toys for Tots, we donated toys to the Daniel Chappie James Jr. Military Lodge, number 27. Board partnerships, we are starting to partner with more of the Commerce City boards and commissions, and we are starting to partner with them on their events to help us get our name out there and get veterans helping in the city. And then we're doing an annual VFW breakfast, seeing how VFW is one of our largest sources of veterans in our community. Just a quick over our budget. Our outreach materials help commissioners start conversation at community events, and our planned VFW fundraiser and the annual Toys for Tots contribution create an additional opportunities to serve and raise awareness. So yes, we do donate about 1,000 to 1,500 to the Toys for Tots every year through the Daniel Chappie. That is something we're very proud of. We do spend a lot of money on swag. That has actually been surprisingly effective at our outreach. We've had veterans come to our tables and let us know, hey, my daughter gave me this coin, or people have called me or emailed us about, hey, my person this met you at this event and I could use help here, and we've been able to help veterans. So it has been effective. I feel pretty good about what we've done with our budget. Our next year is to deepen our impact. We want to sustain our full membership and reliable quorum. We want to formalize the veteran organization partnerships and expand the JROTC collaboration. We want to maintain a year-round calendar of ceremonies, services, and resource outreach. and then connect each budget decision to a clear community benefit. So last year was about recruitment, trying to get quorum up. Our next year is really more about planning and then decisive budget. We have a lot of events planned as we went over, and we just want to make sure that with our full membership now, we're able to contribute and be visible as much as possible. Is there any questions for me?
All right, that was great. That was concise and short.
Thank you.
And to the point,
Yeah.
just like the military.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate everything that you guys bring to the community, what you guys have to offer. And since you guys are all up here, can each one of you come up and come to the mic and say your name? And appreciate it.
I'm Edward Bruns, and I'm a retired Army, 15 Tango.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
I'm Virginia Luna, and I'm just a VFW connection. Also, my father was a prisoner of war. And since I'm up here, one of the events that we're having is on October 18th at the VFW Commerce City, Post 4444, and I would love to see you all there.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm Tim Kleeman, the staff liaison. I work for Commerce City. I'm a Navy veteran.
Thank you.
And then, like I said, I'm Tim Skoliak. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and I'm the chairman.
Thank you all for your service. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we have some questions and comments. Councilmember Young.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you, sincerely thank you for your service. I do have a couple questions. My first question is, you mentioned the junior ROTC. Would you just tell us a little bit more about what that partnership looks like and what you do with the junior ROTC?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are at like Memorial Day, the Veterans Day events, and the JROTC is a huge help. They come, they present the flag, they do a bunch of ceremony stuff for us. And we try to include them in any events that we do because it's good training for them and they love being a part of it and getting to show off their skills. So it's mostly inviting them to participate with us.
I love that. Thank you. My second question, I come from a long line of military veterans. My grandpa was in the Navy in World War II. My grandma's a Pearl Harbor survivor. My birthday is December 7th, by the way. I probably shouldn't tell a whole bunch of people that, but, and my dad is a Vietnam vet. So my question to you is, what kind of services or programs or resources do you have for families of veterans?
Yeah, there's a lot of services that the city provide. We typically have a process that when someone reaches out to us, we connect them with our liaison, who's able to find the appropriate person to help them. So it really depends on the need that they may have.
Great.
So we do try to help with jobs. If there's health issues, we do try to reach out and connect them with the VA. That's one of the big things that we're trying to do. People still don't trust the VA, so we are trying to use that, that connection. And then there's a lot of other services that the city provides, so we usually push them to the website. We have flyers that we hand out that lists out all the things. So if they go to the Elk Lodge, they get, discounts or whatever. So it's really about connecting them with the resources that we have.
Wonderful.
Which there are a lot provided by the city, so.
Sounds like it. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Trujillo.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all so much for the presentation this evening. Beyond the accomplishments and the priorities that you are hoping to tackle, I can't thank you enough for just really creating a space for the veterans in our city where they feel heard, seen. Nobody understands military service like those who have served, right? And so thank you so much for your service to this country and all that you have done for the veterans in this city.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Dukes.
Thank you, and thank you for the presentation, and thank you for your time and commitment and all you do for the city. Regarding the event on October 18th, will you please send that to Annette, Peter, so we make sure we have it, and email Annette, just got a hand up over there, but so that we make sure we have it on our calendars, so if we can make it, we'll be able to make it. The other point I wanted to make is, as you are continue to, we have a workforce advisory committee that's rolling out. So if you guys can make sure you're connected with them as well, one of their big charges is to look at the gaps in our city in terms of workforce and challenges that we may have. I think it fits well with veterans. As you know, workforce is a big opportunity because my understanding is when vets are done with their service, they may not want to go back home, but Commerce City might be a good space here to stay. So that's something to keep in mind with that workforce advisory committee.
Absolutely. Yeah, we would love to. Thank you.
Okay, and
We are.
Oh, go ahead. You
There's
are.
a flyer right now that's in community development, or not, Travis Huntington.
Yeah.
It's waiting to get approved. Once it gets approved, we're gonna try to get it in the flyer, or out in the newsletter on the website, and Annette gets everything I send out, I CC Annette in it, so she knows that.
Oh, for the event, yeah. Thank you. So I just want to make sure we didn't miss that because, if it's on our calendars, we can see if we can make it. But the Workforce Advisory Committee is big because that's the effort for us as a city to find out what are some of the gaps, and it will be missed if the veterans are not a part of that discussion. Another discussion that we're rolling out is our community health and well-being team. They have quarterly updates here with the council, and this is another great connection if you haven't connected with them already around their efforts to look at health and well-being in a holistic approach. So they're looking at access to transportation, access to housing, access to quality food. And so again, veterans and be a part of that discussion would be helpful as well because your point of view and your lived experience will help us as a city. But I want to share that with you guys.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate it. That's our two biggest concerns with veterans is homelessness and mental health. As you all know, it's a big problem, so those two resources will be greatly appreciated. Yeah.
Oh yeah, great. That's what we want as a city as well to make sure that our vets are covered.
Yeah, Councilmember Dukes, if you're a part of any organization that's looking for that, we just asked, they're asking all the time, how can we get involved in more stuff? So if you're involved, or if you know anything about that, if you can email me or
That'll be
Annette
the
to-
community well-being team. That'll be the best contact within the city.
Okay.
Because they're rolling out these indicators that between your expertise and their expertise, it should be able to be a part of this needs assessment that they're doing. We received a grant from National League of Cities that provided them with this accelerator program to go deeper in those social determinants of health. And it will be missing if vets are not a part of that discussion as they roll this out. That's where that comes from.
All right, so yeah, I'll get the information for that. They're asking how they can get involved in more stuff in the city at every meeting, so.
Yes.
As long as I get reach out or contact information, I will make sure to get it to them.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for your service. Thanks for being on the commission and volunteering your time. As we know, volunteering your time is not easy for the city. There's a lot of things you could be doing, but you're choosing to be a part of this and being part of the solution. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Gargiola, did you want to speak?
Oh, yeah, I just turned it off. Again, thank you guys for your service. And thank you for being at all our events, right? I think that's one of the keys that I always see different boards and commissions, and I always could go get one of your guys' buttons and just the swag that I give out to different folks. So always thank you for being present. I think that's huge, and it leads by, you guys lead by example that we want to bring it, and it's showing with the numbers. So again, appreciate what all you guys do and your presence in the city.
Yeah, thanks for sharing our swag. It helps, so yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, Mayor Pro Tem Noble?
Thank you so much. I was on the city council when the Veterans Commission was given birth. And Mayor Huseman, who was a veteran, had this as a very important issue for him, and that was way back in 2020. You guys are doing a wonderful job. I've seen it evolve and know just how wonderfully it's going. And thank you so much for your devoting your time to this. It makes a big difference, and it helps out your fellow service people and those who support service people as well. So thank you so much for your time, and really appreciate hearing what you've been up to. You have been very busy.
Thank you so much, yeah.
Thank you. And Councilmember Young?
Just one more thing, when Councilmember Dukes was talking about community resources, when I was at the Mercado Day Derby on Sunday, I happened upon a couple of veterans. One was a Vietnam vet, and he told us about several AA meetings that they have at, I want to say it's like the Little Red House or something on Monaco and 72nd, but I wanted to tell you that to hold myself accountable to get some more information to you so that you know when and where all of those AA meetings are. So if you don't know about them, you're going to.
Yeah, if you can hand anything off to our liaison, Tim Kleeman, he's really great at sharing all that with us so that we
Great.
can start coming up with plans on how we can assist or figuring out at least how we can help. So
Wonderful.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks again for taking your time coming in, give us a presentation. Really appreciate that.
Cool. Thank you, Mayor Douglas, council members. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we're back on schedule here. We're going to go to executive session again. Oh, here it is. All right, need a motion and a second to enter an executive session pursuant to CRS 24-6-402, parentheses 4 and B, for the purpose of receiving legal advice regarding the application of the city's tax code. Councilmember Teeter,
So move.
Councilmember Dukes.
Second.
Thank you. All right, the motion on the floor is to enter executive session. Sorry, is there any, sorry, let me do this right. Motion on the floor is to enter executive session. Let me back that up. Is there any discussion? Okay, sorry about that. Motion on the floor is to enter executive session pursuant to CRS 2024-6-402, parentheses 4 and B, for the purpose of receiving legal advice regarding the application of the city's tax code. We'll ask the clerk to take a roll call vote.
Thank you, Mayor. The vote is now open.
All right, it passes 7-2. We will now enter an executive session. Council will return from executive session to continue the remainder of the meeting. The meeting broadcast recording will remain up. The executive session is estimated to last approximately 40 minutes. We're just waiting for Mayor Pro Tem. Here she comes. Thank you for patience. We'll come back from executive session. Okay. I need a motion and a second approving the city managers to file an appeal in the matter of a reunion car wash. City attorney, sorry. Councilmember Trujillo, would you like to make that motion?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion authorizing the city attorney to file an appeal in the matter of Reunion Car Wash LLC versus the City of Commerce City.
Okay, need a second. Councilmember Dukes?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, the motion on the floor is to authorize the city attorney to file an appeal in the matter of Reunion Car Wash LLC versus City of Commerce City.
Thank you, Mayor. The vote is open.
Thank you. Okay, that passes unanimous with 2 excused absences. Okay, we're going to go to consent agenda. The consent agenda includes items that are routine, procedural, informational, self-explanatory, non-controversial. These items presented to council for a single motion and a vote. Any council member may ask to remove a specific item off the consent agenda for further discussion and a separate vote. Tonight there are 13 items on the consent agenda. Do any council members wish to remove any items? Councilmember Guardiola.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to remove proclamation 26-025.
Okay. All right. Any other council members? Okay. All right. I need a motion second to adopt the consent agenda as amended. Councilmember Teeter.
I move to adopt the consent agenda as amended.
Thank you. Councilmember Dukes.
Second.
Okay. Will the clerk read a title and take a roll call vote?
Certainly, Mayor. Consent agenda. Minutes 26-134, minutes of the July 20th, 2026 regular meeting. Minutes 26-136, minutes of the August 3rd, 2026 regular meeting. Ordinance 2767, an ordinance amending the Commerce City Revised Municipal Code, Chapter 2, Article 3, establishing the Arts and Culture Commission. Ordinance 2783, an ordinance amending the 2026 budget of the City of Commerce City, Colorado by the recognition of grant funding from the Colorado Department of Local Affairs, the Colorado Department of Transportation, and the Denver Regional Council of Governments, and the authorization of the expenditure thereof. Ordinance 2789, an ordinance amending the 2026 budget of the City of Commerce City, Colorado by authorizing the transfer of road impact fee funds from the Impact Fee Fund to Capital Expenditures Fund in the total amount of $4,011,263 for use on the Landmark Drive and Chambers Road widening Phase 1 projects and the authorization of the expenditure thereof. Ordinance 2792, an ordinance amending Article 2, Chapter 3 of the Commerce City Revised Municipal Code regarding administrative enforcement and hearings. Ordinance 2797, an ordinance amending Article 4 of Chapter 2 of the Commerce City Revised Municipal Code regarding administrative operations. And that is it. There's done. Oh, let's do the next page. Okay. Resolution 2026-097, a resolution ratifying a First Amendment, reviving the agreement, and authorization of a revival and second amendatory agreement to the agreement with Universal Protection Services of America, DBA Allied Universal. Resolution 2026-101, a resolution approving a revised Commerce City procurement policy. Resolution 2026-110, a resolution authorizing the award of design and construction agreement with Lighthouse Transportation Group LLC. Resolution 2026-116, a resolution appointing members to the Arts and Culture Commission. And Resolution 2026-121, a resolution authorizing award of a contract for the installation of traffic signals at 117th Avenue and Chambers Road and Heartland Drive and Chambers Road project to Lighthouse Transportation Group LLC. And the vote is now open on the consent calendar as amended.
All right, passed unanimous with 2 excused absences. Okay, on to one that was pulled. Proclamation declaring September 15, 2026 through October 15, 2026 Hispanic Heritage Month in Commerce City. We'll invite Councilmember Guardiola to introduce this item.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Just kind of wanted to pull the proclamation declaring September 15th, 2026 to October 15th Hispanic Heritage Month and bring out 2 of our cultural Arts and Cultural Commission members to read the proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor and esteemed council members. I'm Jackie, Vice Chair of the Arts and Cultural Commission, as we are now going to be. And this is a proclamation for Hispanic heritage. Whereas Americans observe Natural Hispanic Heritage Month each year, celebrating the histories, cultures, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors come from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. And whereas the observations started in 1968 and was expanded in 1988 to cover a 30-day period starting on September 15th and ending on October 15th. And whereas Hispanics have had profound and positive influence in our country through their strong commitment to family, faith, hard work, and service. They have enhanced and shaped our national character and centuries-old traditions that reflect the multi-ethnic and multicultural customs of their community. And whereas these positive contributions are evident within the Commerce City community, where thriving businesses, cultural arts, and neighborhoods exist, creating a meaningful social fabric of which residents can engage and learn. Now, therefore, it is hereby proclaimed that the Council of the City of Commerce City, Colorado declares September 15th through October 15th, 2026 as a National Hispanic Heritage Month, recognizing the importance of the Hispanic community within the City of Commerce City.
Thank you. Appreciate you reading that proclamation. Do we have a plaque or so we can take a picture with? Jackie and Nick, would you like to come up front here, and the council, come up front, take a picture? And my apologies, I forgot to ask council, the council member would like to say anything about the proclamation? Well, Councilmember Guardiola.
Yeah, no, again, thank you for doing that. Just want to throw out, I think our celebration for Hispanic Heritage Month is September 21st. It's going to be in conjunction with El Mercado de Derby. Let me get that date correct. And it's going to be down in Derby. It is the 20th. I believe it's the 20th. Yep. So if folks could come out, a lot of activities, entertainment, food, and community.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, I just want to say that I attended the Marco D. Derby yesterday. And, you know, usually we have one event to celebrate different cultural events throughout the year, right? So I think it's a little different now that we're doing consecutive or, you know, breaking this up to different Sundays, just as we did with when we did the tree lighting and we had the ice skating, right? So people need to come. Now we're trying to make sure our citizens are educated on when we have events, they may not all be the same. And so we want them to listen with a third ear that there's more to come. And so I appreciate you guys coming in and reading proclamation because it just adds to the richness of our culture here in Commerce City. Very diverse community here in Commerce City, and it really shows. So again, thank you very much for coming in and reading proclamation. Okay, let's see, would you take a vote? Councilmember Dukes, sorry.
Just thank you for coming in and staying and being a part of the proclamation and reading it so well and taking the time to do that. And then also, Councilmember Guardiola, thanks for pulling it off the consent agenda. It's important to highlight our Hispanic community because it is a majority of our community. And so I appreciate the time it takes to read the proclamation and to celebrate our diversity.
Thank you. Councilmember Trujillo.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to kind of share something really quick. So a lot of the Heritage Months kind of usually start at the beginning, right, of each month, but there's actually a reason why Hispanic Heritage Month starts in the middle of September, and that's because that is the beginning of the celebration of 5 Latin countries of their Independence Day. So I just wanted to throw that out there for anybody who is not aware of that. And really the term Hispanic is a very broad term, right? We've got a lot of Latino, Hispano, Chicano, like there's a lot of history within the Hispanic culture. So thank you both very much for staying to read this very important proclamation. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Okay, on to, let's see, oh yeah, we got a vote. Go ahead and make the motion.
Motion to accept proclamation 26-025.
Okay, Councilmember Dukes.
Second.
Okay, motion on the floor is to approve the proclamation. To approve the proclamation declaring September 15, 2026 through October 15, 2026 as Hispanic Heritage Month in Commerce City, Colorado.
Thank you, Mayor. The vote is open.
Thank you. Okay, that passes unanimous with 2 excused absences. Okay, moving right along here. Resolutions. Resolution 2026-100, a resolution authorizing reimbursement of public infrastructure projects. I will invite Jenna Han, Public Works Director, to introduce this item.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and City Council. So in 2025, the city entered into a development agreement with 27J that was tied to the construction of the new Rocky Vista High School near 96th Avenue. And in that development agreement, the city and 27J agreed to have 27J construct Landmark Drive from Reunion Parkway to the edge of their property. And in that agreement, we essentially determined that we would do cost participation since we weren't having to do the construction and oversee the project ourselves. So this resolution tonight allows us to move forward with the reimbursement agreement that is attached to that construction effort of Landmark Drive that 27J took on our behalf. They did the design, they did the construction, and this would allow us to begin reimbursements. That development agreement also had other public benefits attached to it, but the city is not a cost participant in those efforts. And I'm certainly happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any council members have any questions? Councilmember Dukes?
No questions, but I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-100.
Councilmember Teeter?
Second the motion.
Okay. All right. Motion on the floor is to adopt Resolution 2026-100. I'll ask the clerk to read the title and take a roll call vote.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2026-100, a resolution authorizing reimbursement of a public infrastructure project. And the vote is now open.
Okay, I pass unanimously with 2 excused absence. All right. On to the next one. Resolution 2026-123, resolution granting an easement to United Power, Inc. for utilities to be located on city property. I need a motion and a second to allow me to recuse myself from the vote on Resolution 2026-123. Mayor Pro Tem Noble. Councilmember Young.
I second.
Okay. All right. Do you want to come over here or you want to stay there?
We'll resume the meeting as soon as the mayor has exited. And I'm going to stay in this seat. All right. I need a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 2026-123. I'll pick Councilmember Dukes.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt Resolutions 2026-123.
All right. Councilmember Young.
I second.
Thank you. All righty. The motion on the floor is to adopt Resolution 2026-123. I will ask the clerk to read the title and take a roll call vote, please.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Resolution 2026-123, a resolution granting an easement to United Power, Inc. for utilities to be located on city property. And the vote is open.
All right, the vote is unanimous. Thank you.
I don't think we need a motion to recuse.
Could someone get the mayor, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, on to administrative business. Do any council members have any administrative business items? Mayor Pro Tem Noble.
All right, thank you very much. I wanted to follow up on the question that Ms. Becker had regarding plats 40 and 39. And to clarify, is there anyone who could clarify the situation on those? That was for Reunion Village.
Sure, I'm happy to do my best. I don't know if the CD director is here anymore, but in a nutshell, filing 39 has been called up and is being scheduled for a public hearing, and filing 40 did not.
Okay, and in filing 40, there was a person who requested a public hearing, but they lived a few feet beyond 300 feet.
That is my understanding, yes.
Yeah.
There was a determination made by community development, yes.
Okay. And I had a question about where the signs were placed. Both signs were placed on Chambers Road, and there wasn't a sign placed on 112th where the other plat is located. Were you able to find anything out about that?
CD might be able to speak to that, or Jim.
Unfortunately, Mike thought it was done. I'd have to research the code to look because I'm not completely positive. I know they're put where they're visible and there's much more traffic on Chambers, so, but I can check and we can get back to you.
Wouldn't typically a sign have to be in the plat itself?
I'm saying
The sign that the developer erects, would the sign have to be in the plat itself? Or can it be placed anywhere on the property?
It should be, if at all possible, on the property, but if that property doesn't have access onto a road as such, you can put it there to give that information.
I'm not asking about the property, though. That's a lot of property there that they're dealing with. I'm asking about the plat, specifically the plat. Does a sign need to go in a plat that the developer is asking, the developer puts the information on a sign?
Right.
Does it need to go in that mapped plat, or can it go anywhere on any other open area outside of the plat?
I'll have to read the code exactly, but it should go where you can see it. If it's possible to be on the property that is being submitted for subdivision, that's exactly where you want it to go. But if that property doesn't have visibility from a traffic road, I think we have allowance. But again, I'll have to get back to you. I don't deal with that on a daily basis, and so I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. And the other question came from Nate Harris. And it seems to me that since we had a lot of dialogue on Flock, that I would like to suggest that Mr. Harris organize a public meeting and invite the community to a meeting where they can hear from other folks like him who work in the technology business, so that they can have that conversation. He can certainly continue to bring information forward to us during council meetings, as he has been doing. But in terms of a meeting, I think we unfortunately vetted it fully when we were deciding on whether to install Flocks. I do believe, though, that he has an excellent question about why it is 346 pieces of equipment versus 111 that was called out in the contract. Do we know?
Mayor Pro Tem, I don't have the specific answer to that question, but I did document it so that I can follow up with the chief. I don't know if his question was specific to one type of thing or encompassing all of the equipment. So I'm happy to follow up with the chief and get that information, funneled back through City Manager Rogers.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. And I saw Public Works Director Hahn meeting with Jackie Valdez at the back of the room, so I'm hopeful that something was worked out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other council members have any administrative items? Okay, moving on to reports. Deputy City Manager Carson, could you please provide us with the city manager report?
Thank you, Mayor. From the city manager's office, wanted to let you know that actually the finance department's tax division is pleased to announce that their introduction to sales and use tax seminar is now available in video form on the city's website. The next step will be to convert that, have it translated into Spanish so that we can provide that Spanish version to the community as well. The next sales and use tax seminar will take place virtually on Tuesday, October 13th from 9 to noon. Next, Jason had previously sent out an email outlining the suggested agenda for the Adams 14 agenda to take place on August 31st. So we wanted to get information and find out if there is a consensus amongst the group that you want that meeting to be held. And if so, are you in support of the agenda as he shared it, or would you have suggestions for modification? If there are additional suggestions, then he would be following up with them to let them know what those recommended suggestions were.
Okay. Councilmember Guardiola?
I had a question about the videos. Do you have a timeline when it's going to get interpreted and translated?
I know that the request is submitted, so as quickly as possible, but I don't know that a deadline has been established.
Okay, thank you.
Deputy City Manager Carson, what date was that when City Manager Rogers sent it out?
I don't have the date. I can search quickly and see if I can find that.
About 2 weeks ago.
Was it? Okay. Thank you.
Annette might find it quicker than I can. Okay. No. I can give a high overview. So it was going to be an introduction, an Adams 14 board vision and priorities for the district, city vision for supporting education and financial literacy, which would include C3 Promise Program along with the Workforce Advisory Committee. No,
Okay.
I'm looking for the Adams 14 meeting. And then joint infrastructure participation strategy, Adams 14 and C3 Tax Committee reinstatement, Mile High Greyhound Park Parcel A update, next steps, and adjournment.
All right. Thank you. Councilmember Guardiola, did you have another question?
Yeah. I'd like to add safety and security. I think we get a lot of those questions when we're out in the public. And sometimes, I mean, we tell them to take it up to the third board. So I'd like to see what safety and security plan they have, especially for the incident that happened last year.
Is council okay to add that to the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Noble?
Yeah, I'm fine with the agenda, and I'm reminded that we haven't met with 27J either in a very long time. The 27J School Board, and we used to do that on a regular basis too. We would meet with Adams 14 School Board one fifth Monday and meet with 27J the other fifth Monday.
Tuesday.
I think it's been at least a year and a half or more that we have not met with 27J. I think it's very important to do, especially since we have a brand-new high school coming into North Commerce City. And it's just time to make that happen as well, if we could pass that along, if everyone is in agreement with that.
Council okay with 27J meeting?
I've made that note. So there is consensus that the
Yes.
August 31st meeting should take place, and the agenda, as it was established, is good, adding the safety and security item.
Yes. And usually with 27J, it has always been on the fifth Tuesday of the month?
Right.
Yep.
Yep, I made a note that we can do that outreach to 27J.
All right, appreciate that.
Okay, continuing from Economic Development, staff collaborated with the GIS team and IT to develop an interactive map identifying where food trucks may operate under the current city ordinance. That tool will help inform discussions that are happening to determine if any proposed ordinance updates need to be brought forward for your consideration. The map will also serve as a resource for food truck operators to be able to see where they can currently locate if they are interested in doing so. From Public Works, the 96th Avenue project remains on track for fall completion. From the Police Department, this Friday is the 6th annual Kurt Holland Memorial Golf Tournament at Buffalo Run. We anticipate that it will continue to be a very successful tournament and anticipate that several staff members will see some of you out there on the course. It's supposed to be a really nice day. If any of you have heard about legislation that passed last week that requires law enforcement agencies in Colorado to enroll in the ATF E-Trace program by September 1st, the chief wanted to make sure that everybody knows that we are already enrolled in that program and have been for years. So that is not an issue for us in terms of being able to do that by September 1st. And that is the end of the city manager report.
Appreciate that. Councilmember Dukes?
Just a point of, so thank you. Thank you for the team for creating the GIS for the food truck, GIS map, being able to show where places that food trucks can operate and being flexible around not saying you can't do this, but hey, if you can't do it here, but here's a place you can. I think it goes a long way. I received a number of emails from some small business owners that found that this is helpful. And I look forward to continue to have those conversations so that we can have a thriving food truck community. So thank you and the team for doing that.
Thank you. All right. Okay, go ahead, Councilmember Dukes.
The other thing I noted down is the 96th Avenue being on track. Thanks for highlighting that. And also continue to update the project and construction page that shows, we want to make sure our community uses that as often because it shows all the projects that are happening from the clubhouse to 120th and also 96th Avenue as well as 88th. This shows the progression. Everything's on track as of right now. And so I appreciate for that updated page for our community. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. City Attorney Zarzaki.
Thank you, Mayor. 3 quick items. Just a quick report that the city clerk and I gave the Q3 Boards and Commissions orientation training last Thursday. It was, I think, very well received. I certainly would love and appreciate the feedback to the extent that when you are all going to your boards and commissions and you meet the new members, if there's anything that there's outstanding questions that they have or considerations that the clerk's office and I can take into consideration for improving that training, please let us know. Reminder that we have a policy and governance meeting tomorrow. I will be there at 1 p.m. And then finally, I will be out of the office Friday through Tuesday, which means I will be missing next Monday's study session, and Deputy City Attorney Deanne Durfee will be in my place. And that is it.
Thank you. Any questions for City Attorney? Councilmember Guardiola.
Thank you, Mayor. Have you guys sent out like a survey to after the orientation? What they could do better? I just find it feedback very helpful right after, and it doesn't have to be extensive. I always do up to 5 questions. What could I do better? What would you like? So just a suggestion.
Thank you, Councilmember Guardiola. We do actually post a QR code at the end of the training that leads participants directly to a survey, and we ask them to fill that out each time. But happy to share that survey with you all as well, and if you have any thoughts on other questions or any changes, we'd be open to that.
I'd love to see that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, City Attorney. Okay, council members have any? Okay, Councilmember Guardiola.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple things to report out. Went to El Mercado de Derby. Again, appreciate all the vendors, community members, businesses that are supporting this. Just want to make it it's a great event that the city is putting on, right? And we're partnering with an organization called Empowered, who's been doing a great job on social media and getting businesses involved. But it's a city event, so please get community out there. This weekend, I thought I saw a lot more folks there sitting down, the entertainment, a lot more vendors, a lot of cool vendors. So again, get the word out. Took a tire that I've had in my garage for the last 2 years to the recycle tire. Great job, staff. Always just good to talk to the people that are working really hard for the city and donated that tire to them. So again, I appreciate the services and to residents, you know, all these things are free to us. Please keep reading our Connect, looking on our social media. But I was talking to one of the gentlemen who came up, and they got a lot of tires, so that was pretty cool. Myself and Councilman Dukes met with Suncor. I'll let him explain about our meeting. And I think I'm excited about the partnership with Suncor. The last thing I'll talk about is the Speak Up event. Great job. Again, I think we learned as much as our residents learned about the departments and the services, and I appreciate that, having these honest conversations with our residents and our employees that are doing the work. One shout out to Diana Lugo about our code enforcement. I brought that up earlier this year, that our code enforcement, only the fees were translated into Spanish, right? And a resident brought that up to me. He's like, you know, I want to pay it and I'll pay it, but I don't know for what. It just tells me these are the levels. And she let me know on the Speak Up that she submitted it to IT, and so all of our code enforcements should be in Spanish, and that's huge. Again, our folks want to do right, but we're only asking them to pay the fines is unacceptable. And thank you, City Manager Roger, when we talked about it, and now Diana gave me the update. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Young.
Thank you, Mayor. I also attended the Speak Up Commerce City last week. I really appreciate I think probably several iterations that this Speak Up event has been through to land on like a central location, but also to include a lot of the different city resources that we have that really give some place for people to ask their questions, to get more information, to get information directly from our departments and our resources. So I really appreciated kind of seeing all of that in action. So I want to say great job. I attended the Senior Commission last week, and Councilmember Noble can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the dance is October 16th. This is a group of people who just has a wealth of resources, and they are really generous, and they really want to give their resources to our senior community, and they are real advocates for our senior community. So I always appreciate getting to spend a little time with them. I also went to the Pennock Center for Counseling Healing Hearts benefit, where a couple members of our senior commission were there. And I'm a fan of the nonprofit community, so I really appreciated being able to kind of see that in action and to meet other people who are passionate about counseling services, to hear from the superintendent at 27J and their connection in the community with the counseling center. So that was really great. I got to be there with Councilmember Teeter and Mayor Douglas. And then Sunday attended the Mercado Day Derby and had a really nice opportunity to visit with some of the local business owners, get myself a gluten-free donut. If you have a gluten allergy, Tasty Donuts has mochi donuts. They're amazing. And talk to some of the people who were there. That's where I met the Vietnam vet who does many AA meetings there in Derby, and the people he was sitting with really expressed a lot of a sincere appreciation for our work in the Derby area, for kind of the vigilance of the ranger department to be kind of helping mitigate some of the unhoused population and just making that area safe for the people who go to the restaurants, who visit that area, and to go to the AA meetings. So I think that's all I have. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Councilmember Dukes, you have a report?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. So a couple of things. One is I was able to mention earlier the Water Commission meeting. We talked about the drought concerns as a state. This is an issue. So they'll continue to look at the drought levels and hopefully be able to have enough water and rain to help bring us back to some levels of normalcy in the near future. We also talked about data centers and what the perspective from the district to think through what's needed for any type of data center discussion. It was a good discussion and informative. I was able to attend the Turnberry Potomac Farm Summer Picnic. This was a great opportunity just to be in the community and listen to community members. It's always amazing to hear our community. We have 77,000 residents, and it is a community of neighborhoods. And so when I'm able to participate as an at-large council member, I get to hear different perspectives, which has been a true blessing for this role. One of the things that was brought up is this idea of trails. We've heard this before, being able to talk more about the trails and highlight our trails throughout our city. We did talk about, and I'm glad we were able to approve pickleball courts at the rec center as we look forward to expanding that. That is what I've heard a lot from our senior commission members there, that this is a big need. So I'm glad we're able to approve that. I was able to meet with Suncor, with Councilmember Guardiola, and in this meeting, we wanted to really understand what are some things that we are aligning in terms of values and principles, understand what they're currently providing in investments to our city, and then begin to think through what's the next step as we can figure out the way to have accountability, but also partnership and also clean air across our cities, which they want as much as we want. And there's the education piece that may be needed in terms of what is a refinery and what does that look like. So Councilmember Guardiola and I are going to sit down and meet and think about what that looks like at a possible study session, and how do we approach that so that we can have a productive conversation that leads towards meaningful agreements that we can all hold to. The other piece, I was able to talk with our city staff around this nonprofit advisory board, so talk with our deputy city manager, as well as with, I don't know Dylan's title now, but we chatted through what that looks like. As you can recall, we had an advisory task force approved via motion, and this is going to be kicked off to talk through how do we begin to create a container for our nonprofits that are in our community, what supports are needed, what gaps are happening. And so I thank you, Councilmember Young, for being the second on that one, and we're going to be able to move forward with that. The last piece is on just a brief reminder, the monthly meetups. I put out a monthly meetup schedule. Unfortunately, we have a joint meetup this Saturday with Republic Service at the 74th Avenue location. As a city, we celebrated the fact that we have partnership with Republic Services to have an all-electric fleet, which I think is one of two. I think we're the largest electric fleet in the state, and I think there's only maybe another one in the country. So this opportunity for our community to come out, touch a truck, be a part of it, be able to see what the electric fleet looks like, not just helping reduce our carbon footprint, but I did a ride-along several months ago, and it's been fascinating how this new technology has been able to navigate our narrow streets in our community. If you did a ride-along in Commerce City, you know that there's some tight corners, and when you try to get recycling and trash collection in some of these tight streets and cars. This technology is really fascinating to help provide really quality service. So come on out this Saturday at 10 a.m. It's at the Republic Service location on 74th, and it is open to families and everyone, and you get opportunity. And this is a joint meetup with Councilmember Trujillo, so we'll be able to talk from that large perspective and share what's happening across our city. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Trujillo, do you have a report?
Thank you, Mayor. Also attended the Speak Up event. Loved those events. Great to hear from our residents. I was actually able to show the app to one of our residents here who was not aware of how to use it to report potential code enforcement or code violations to the city. So he was super grateful for that. But it's just a great way to really reach our community. As we all know, different agencies are there, and it's a great opportunity for our residents to learn more about the projects that we also have going on in the city. So, and as Councilman Dukes mentioned, we do have a joint meetup on Saturday, so really looking forward to seeing everybody there. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Teeter, your report? No. Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Noble, your report?
Thank you, Mayor. This afternoon, I got a call about a semi-truck hitting a vehicle on 96 at Walden. Two passengers were hospitalized as a result. You may recall 3 months ago that a pedestrian on 96 was killed by a semi-truck. I have expressed over and over again my concern about East 96th Avenue being a hazardous truck route. It is a designated hazardous truck route. The problem is that these trucks need the closest access to certain freeways in order to exit Commerce City. Obviously, the best choice would be Highway 2, in my view. They would take Highway 2 up to 76, and they could also then go on now to E470 because Sable is open. And I want to make something abundantly clear. I've talked about this since last September to everyone. The Hazardous Material Mitigation Act. The General Assembly finds and declares that certain communities in the state serve as the distribution points for almost all of the fuel transported in the state. Licensed fuel distributors rely on the hazardous mitigation corridor infrastructure, that's us, in these communities to support the economic functions of the state, and increasing requirements on fuel consumption and blends will cause the infrastructure in these communities to be relied upon even more. Therefore, the General Assembly finds that it is appropriate to establish the, sorry, I just lost it for a minute. To establish the Fuel Enterprise Impacts Reduction Grant Program to provide grants to these communities for the improvement of their hazardous mitigation corridor infrastructure and for projects related to the transportation of fuel within the state. This bill was enacted in 2023. They allocated, as noted, depending upon how much fuel is distributed from each of these various areas in the state of Colorado. The Fuel Impact Enterprise Fund designated 64% for Adams County, which came to $6.4 million per year for 7 years. That tallies $44,800,000 went to Adams County. 24, 25, and 2026 tranches have been dispersed to Adams County. That tally is $19,200,000. Of that, Commerce City received $2 million. about 10%. In fact, 71.4% of all fuel supply depots in Adams County are in Adams County, are in Commerce City. Let me say that again. 71.4% of all fuel supply depots in Adams County are in Commerce City. That is 5 of 7. If you play that math out, that comes to 31,987,000 of the 44,800,000 that will be allocated over 7 years. I am beyond livid that we have children that will be going to Rocky Vista High School on East 96th Avenue, running the risk every single day that they get in their vehicles next year of encountering a hazardous semi-truck because Adams County cannot figure out how to share the money with Commerce City, who is carrying the burden of all of these fuel supply trucks. The same thing applies to South Commerce City, where all of these trucks are going in and out. These 5 fuel supply depots are in South Commerce City. 2 are Suncor, 1 is New Star, 1 is Sinclair, and 1 is Phillips 66. And today we have another injury on 96th Avenue with a semi-truck, not just a regular vehicle, but a semi-truck. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Let's see, last week on Tuesday, I was invited to Huntington Bank Community Launch Celebration. They celebrated Community Uplift Cup. They gave them a grant of $10,000. There was other communities as well as Commerce City Chamber and the Thornton Chamber. Wednesday is a quarterly airport coordinating committee. Myself and Councilmember Trujillo attended that meeting, and DIA made their presentation, DIN, on what their future economic opportunities are. And so happened to be, we have a clear zone that's around the airport, and the area that they want to expand within the airport, well, in the clear zone, actually layers over our future growth boundary, which is a problem. City Manager Rogers was there as well, and this is just a start. They're introducing what they want to do, so there is time for us to have a conversation. But it was eye-opening for what the presentation, not just Commerce City, this also affects Brighton and Aurora to the south. I appreciate the city doing the employee appreciation ice cream. It was great to see the employees as well as last week with the coffee, and then tomorrow, or Wednesday, is going to be the barbecue. So I really appreciate the city sponsoring that because it really brings their employees together, and they appreciate it. I had the Adcock Sub-Regional Transportation 10-year plan review. I was at that meeting, and that's why I wasn't at this speak-up meeting at the beginning. I got to speak up late, saw a few residents and spoke to some, but I appreciate the city continuing to put those on. Our residents really appreciate that. E470 meeting, myself and Councilmember Teeter. E470 did an amendment to road widening that's going to go north at a 3rd lane from Highway 8, from 104th up to Highway 85, eventually up to I-25. It's going to be, let's see, 104th Avenue, 120th, 2.5 miles. It's going to be widening 6 bridges, 2 at 120th, O'Brien Canal, Burlington Ditch, 9 retaining walls, 70,000 tons of asphalt pavement, and 2,500 concrete drainage pipes. That project will be done in spring of 2027. And also, on Thursday, RTD Connects stakeholders briefing, discussing future closures are elimination of routes. Currently, there are routes that they extended, now they're gonna pull us back from being a half-hour wait to maybe an hour. There's a lot on the table when it comes to RTD. That was the first initial one with this consulting group. Had a Metro North Mayor's Breakfast on Saturday. Also participated in the Pinnock Center for Counseling and Healing Hearts benefit with Councilmember Young and Councilmember Teeter. And I do appreciate the mental health that is provided by Pinnock. They help a lot of people, and not just adults, kids as well. 27J's involved with that as well. I also attended to the Mercado D Derby on Sunday as well. And, you know, I know if we're gonna do this next year, we need to get ahead of this. Maybe start in March, because like I said before, a lot of these events that we put on are one-day events. And when we do have consecutive or days of event, you know, especially doing a type of what did I say, farmer's market style. I just think we get ahead of this without more attendance. I do appreciate the vendors and like as Councilmember Guaylo said, attending, because, you know, it wasn't that of a hot day, but people actually did come and go, and talk to different vendors that was there as well. I was gonna ask, I just saw today, they delivered the mass polls for 120th and Chambers all the way up to Buckley, which is great, because then they can go ahead and put those polls in. Speaking with the contractors and the lead on this project, as they installed the sidewalks on the south side, which are quite large. But on the north side, they're only gonna be from Chambers and 120th going westbound over the bridge. But no connectivity as far as sidewalks go from 120th and Chambers to Buckley, which could be kind of impossible because that is the county section of Adams County. But just where Outlook, where those homes reside, it'd be nice to see if we could put sidewalks there. If we need to come back, maybe to make an amendment to the contract or so. I'm not sure, but if you can pass that on to City Manager Rogers, that'd be great. Okay, thank you. All right, sorry for going over time there. Okay, seeing no further business, it's 8:20. Councilmember Dukes.
Just a question on the last procedure. Was that a recommendation for a city manager to come back with a contract for amendment?
Just to look into that, because there's not one.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have one. And I was gonna do council administration business, but I didn't, so.
I guess I'm not clear on the ask for
So
the
just
city
to see
manager.
because talking to the contractor who's in charge of.
You talked to the
Yeah,
contractor?
so they said that based on a contract, they're only contracted to put the sidewalk in on the south side of 120th, going from Chambers all the way up to Buckley.
And you're asking the city manager to change that?
No,
Oh.
I'm just asking if you could look into it, and I want to talk to him about it, but I just want to raise the question of if there's an opportunity for us for the city to ask to put a sidewalk on that side, why there's construction going on. Just as if 96 and Laredo put an intersection there, right? So it's not a separate RFP type situation. So I'm gonna ask, and I was gonna do notice of council business, but I'll bring that forward, but just wanted to initiate that. Thank you for asking. All right, seeing no further business, it is 8:24, and we're adjourned, and don't get used to this, okay? Thank you, sir.